Hey friends, my name is Sarah K. Grace and I help people with secret intuitive and psychic abilities embrace their gifts and live awesome lives through mentorships and training programs. So I used to be a psychic paramedic for 15 years and now I am a metaphysical first responder. What that means, well actually today what we're going to talk about, you guys, if you're a sensitive, if you are a healer, if you are an empath, and even if you don't identify as that, but you're just over it and you just don't want to be here anymore, this message is for you. Okay, so first of all, this thing's dropping. Let's fix that. It's an incredibly intense time right now collectively in 2021. It's really been about extreme contractions, bringing up everybody's shadow side, fears, self-doubts, insecurities, addiction patterns, etc. So as an energetically sensitive person, our nervous systems are 2 to 3 times as sensitive as like the quote standard person. It's just everything's more intense. Everything is so intense right now, not just for us, for everybody. So if you are on the edge and you are burned out and you don't want to be here and you are not into this earth plane and you don't understand humans and you feel like you've been just kind of on the outside looking in on this paradigm, not really belonging, not really fitting in anyway, and then the last couple of years has been like this message for you. You're not alone. This is just now. Okay, what we're being called to do is really reevaluate. Sorry about that. What we're being called to do right now is really reevaluate our commitment to being incarnated. So we as souls, you know, chose to incarnate, came down here, have the experience of contrast, we get to create, blah, blah, blah. It's great, it's not great, it's all of it, right? So it's a finite experience that's over in the blink of an eye, right? But when we're in it, it seems like forever. And when we're dealing with such extreme, intense discomfort, it's natural to want to bounce, okay? So that's where humanity is. And in terms of the healers and the empaths, I am seeing and hearing and feeling like so many people are just like, I can't, I'm done. Like, I'm not only done, I'm never coming back to Earth plane again, like ever. I'm not reincarnating here, screw this crap, like, period. I get it. I totally get it. Your higher self, your guides, your soul essence is inviting you into, just take a look at where you're at. And now's the time to either, well, it's time to commit one way or the other, okay, for everybody. You're either going to re-up your commitment to staying incarnated and continuing on with the human experience, or you're not. And we don't want to poo-poo the and you're not. We don't want to like, oh, you shouldn't be like that, or you shouldn't say. That's a real authentic experience. It's been off the hook intense. It's just like annoyingly crazy and uncomfortable and has been for a long time. And there's just stuff that's annoying, like my camera thing falling down all the time in this video, but whatever, we work with it, right? It's just part of the experience. If you are committed to staying in embodiment, awesome. And if you're on the fence, it's very important, you guys, to not pass go and try to pretend like you're like, oh, I'm fine. Or, oh yeah, I'm going to stay here. It's very important to come into that space of like looking at the non-acceptance, looking at the fact that you really don't like this incarnation. You really don't like being in the human experience. You really don't feel identified in the human condition because it's so limiting, and you know that you're so much more as a soul, like you're so much bigger energetically. Give yourself permission to be okay not being okay. Give yourself permission to be okay saying that you don't want to be here. That's okay. And really looking at this space, because the sensitives and people in the gifted paradigm, we don't really fit in anyway. So we're kind of like on the outside looking in. And then we add all of this intensity and all this insanity that's happening. And it's just really like, yo, I don't know how to relate to this, right? Because we can see so much more. We can see what's not being said and what's happening behind and who's running and all the stuff, right? So it's like it can really be challenging. This is your time to either recommit to staying incarnated or be clear with the fact that you don't want to, and just look at that. Give yourself space with that, okay? So there is this is where we are. We're in a choice point. And if you're in that space where you're really not wanting to be here, allow yourself to feel it. I would definitely reach out, not try to necessarily work with that one by yourself. So find somebody that you feel like you can talk to that's not necessarily gonna talk you out of it. And I'm not talking about actively taking measure for suicide. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying allowing yourself to go to the scary spot of not wanting to be here anymore, and then getting down in there and figuring out, like, can I recommit? I don't even know what's going on with this thing. Can I recommit to staying here? That's where we're at. It's okay either way. Whichever way you want to go is okay, right? We're being presented opportunities with relationship changes, physical disease manifestations, like job changes. There's all kinds of upheaval happening, and this is where we're at. You get to choose if you want to continue to play, or you choose if you don't. And if you don't, like, then just really be real about, like, what are you doing to cope? How are you hiding? How are you anesthetizing yourselves? Like, be real about that. Like, what are you doing? How much sugar are you taking? Alcohol, drugs, sex, caffeine, nicotine. What are you doing? Like, and be real with it, okay? With no judgment, because it's all part of the human expression and paradigm. But this is where we're at. It's okay if you're not wanting to be here. It's okay if you are wanting to be here. Just know that if you're not wanting to be here and you give yourself that space to really go down into it, you can find some really extremely beautiful and valuable wisdom. You can take that wisdom, and should you choose to recommit and say, okay, fine, this is uncomfortable, but I remember that I chose to come here, and I know I'm super sensitive and there's got to be a reason for it, whatever, I'll stay. Should you choose that, then you take all of this wisdom and power into the next level of expression, and eventually the extreme contraction opens and you have this amazing expansion and new way of creating things, okay? So just know, as a sensitive, as a healer, I swear to God, with this thing, sorry, it's life, man. It's just human. It's what it is, not perfect. As wherever you are in this moment, it's okay. If you really don't feel like you belong here or that you don't want to be here, it's okay. Reach out to me, reach out to a friend, have a conversation about it, be real with yourself. Don't rush trying to, like, move past these feelings. And should you come to that space of acceptance, then you can move into the next level of expression in your life, which can be even more amazing. I love you. I know this is not easy. It is not easy. What we're facing, just humanity in general, and then you add sensitivity on top of it, it's like, seriously, it's almost inhumane. Like, straight up, not gonna lie. And there's a lot of beauty in it, if we have the eyes to see. So wherever you are on your path, I love you. Reach out to me and keep in touch. Mwah.